Hello everyone, welcome to Vision classes. It's a all India online classes for CBSE, ICGSE and ICSE students. So today we'll deal with the concept called speed and velocity. So we'll understand what is speed, what is uniform speed and non-uniform speed, what is velocity, what is constant velocity, and all the stuffs. So sometimes, or few days ago, I particularly traveling with one of my friend, and he told me that, friend, increase the speed or speed up, we have to catch the ceremony. So uh, here he used the word speed. So speed, what is this? That the speed means actually how fast or how slow the body is moving, right? So here definition of a speed is that distance traveled per unit time. Distance traveled per unit time. Per unit time is a speed. So certainly here speed is equal to distance traveled distance traveled over time taken, over time taken. So here speed means it's a just a distance traveled over time taken. Let's say if you are traveling a distance of A to B is, let's say, a 60 kilometer, and if you travel it to the distance, let's say, I would say 40 minutes, then it's a means distance traveled is 60 kilometer and time taken it's a 40 minute. So if you use speed as a V and distance traveled is, let's say, yes, distance traveled is yes, or time taken T, then it's a V is equal to S over T. So here the units of speeds as here meter per second or centimeter per second or kilometer per hour. So our general speedometer on the vehicle, or let's say, or any kind of four-wheeler, two-wheeler vehicle, we have a indicator called the speedometer. Speedometer shows the uh, kilometer per hour vehicle moving, right? Speed at which vehicle moving. So it's a SI units, that is meter per second, centimeter per second, kilometer per hour. So in case of speed, here we don't know the direction, so we don't know the direction, that's why it's a scalar quantity, because we know that just a magnitude quantity, scalar quantity, that's why uh, it's a just a scalar quantity. Now uh, next point is that average speed is nothing but total distance traveled over total time taken. Average speed of a body, average speed of a body or any vehicle is equal to total distance traveled traveled divided by total time taken, total time taken to cover this distance or that distance, to cover that distance. So here formula is average speed. Average speed is equal to total distance traveled over total time taken, So here, look at here, suppose let's say this is a path here, A to B, B to C, C to D. Here path traveled by moving any vehicle, any kind of bus. Let's say A to B is, let's say, 20 kilometer. It covers the distance in a 10 minute. Okay, then 30 kilometer B to C, and it covers the distance, let's say 15 minute, and let's say here C to D is 40 kilometer, and this distance covered in, again, let's say 15 minute. So here just we have to add all distances to over the total time taken. Means it's just a 20 plus 30 plus 40 over 10 plus 15 plus 15. It's a average speed. And if you want to calculate in a meter per second, we have to just here multiply by 60, so that you can convert it into kilometer per second, right? Kilometer per, it's a minute, right? Average unit, average speed unit. Now next point is that uniform speed or a constant speed. Uniform speed, if means, suppose let's say a moving body travels the equal distance, if moving body travels equal distance in equal interval of time, interval of time, it simply means it's a uniform speed or constant speed, and means it's a simply this distance covered over time. It's a distance covered over time is constant. Distance covered over time is constant. That's why it's a straight line graph, and we can say that it's a uniform speed. And reverse of this is non-uniform speed. Non-uniform speed is nothing but it's a again, if a body moving or travels the unequal distance in equal interval of time, then we can say that it's a non-uniform speed. Look at here, let's say in case of uniform speed, let's say a 5 kilometer in let's say 5 minute, 10 kilometer in 10 minute, and next 8 kilometer is again 8 minute. Means it's a average or all over, it's around 1 kilometer per minute. This body is moving, right? We can say this is a uniform speed, but in case of non-uniform speed, it's it covering unequal distance, equal distance or equal interval of time, interval of time means it might be, graph might be either this way or either this way, right? So let's say here 10 kilometer in 5 minutes, then 25 kilometer in, let's say, 10 minutes, right? It's a unequal distance in equal interval of time, right? So either speed is increasing or speed is decreasing, so it's a non-uniform speed, or uniform, no, it's a non-uniform speed. Okay. So simply speaking, if a body moving or travels equal distance in equal interval of time, it's a uniform speed. And non-uniform speed is simply if a body moving unequal distance in a equal interval of a time, then it's a non-uniform speed. Will solve few examples so that you will get the point. So first example is that scooterists cover a distance of 3 kilometer in 5 minutes. Calculate the speed in a centimeter per second, then meter per second, kilometer per hour. So given is that firstly a speed, so here we have a distance traveled given, right? Distance traveled is equal to 3 kilometer, and a time taken is also given 5 minutes, right? So first part here, let's say here speed is equal to speed v is equal to s over t. S means it's a 3 kilometer over 5 minute. So firstly we have to means just to convert this distance into minute. No, it's a meter, kilometer already given, right? So we have to convert it into either meter, centimeter, right? So firstly here distance d or distance s is equal to 3 kilometer. 3 kilometer means it's a 3 into 1000 meter. It means 3000 meter, right? And if you convert into centimeter, it's a 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. It means it's a 300, no, it's a 3 lakh centimeter, right? 3 lakh centimeter or 300,000 centimeter. Anyhow, then for a minute time t is equal to 5 minute. 5 minute means if you take into the second, it means 5 into 60. It will be 5 6 are 30, 300 second. So here firstly centimeter per second, first part is the centimeter per second. So we have to convert it into speed. V is equal to centimeter. It's a 300,000, that is 3 lakh centimeter, right? Over second, it's a 300, cancel out this 2 zeros, 3 ones are 3, means it's just 1000 centimeter per second. 1000 centimeter per second. Then B, second part, meter per second. Look at here, what is distance is in meter. It's a V again is equal to 3000. No, it's a 3000 over time is 300. Again 2 zeros cancel out, 3 ones are 3, means it's a 10. It's a velocity is 10 meter per second. And C part, kilometer per hour. So here time is in minute, so to convert this minute into hour, we have to just divide by 60, so you will get the hour. So 5 ones are 5, 5 ones are 5, 5 2s are 10, means it's a 1 upon 12 r. 1 upon 12 r means v is equal to, distance is in kilometer, 3 kilometer, over 1, again 1 over 12, and it's a, take it reciprocal, so 12 3s are 36 kilometer per hour. Kilometer per hour will be the velocity, or no, it's the speed. That's why we are learning this concept, speed and velocity. So here the scooterist distance means covers the distance 3 kilometer per 5 minute, or in a 5 minute. So it's a speed in centimeter per second is 1000 centimeter per second. In meter per second it's a 10 meter per second, and it's a 36 kilometer per hour. Now next example, the question is that a train A travels the distance 120 kilometer in 3 hours, whereas another train B travels 180 kilometer in 4 hours. Which train is faster? Which train is faster? Now in this case, it's a means just we have to calculate how fast or how slow this train is. So for that we have to use this again formula, that is v is equal to s over t. Speed is equal to s over t. So train A, what is speed is given? Speed is 120, and t is given, no, it's a 120 kilometer. T is given 3 r. So v is equal to 120 over 3. 120 over 3. So 3 4s are 12. So it's a 40 kilometer per hour. 40 kilometer per hour is a speed of first train. Then second train, look at the train B. Train B, what is speed? Oh no, it's a, what is the distance traveled? Distance traveled is 180 kilometer, and what is time taken? Time taken is 4 hour, right? So what is speed? Here speed is equal to s over t, means 180 over 4. 180 over 4. It means simply it's a 4 4s are 16 and 4 5s are 20, means it's a 45 kilometer per hour. So which is faster here? So train B, of course train B is traveled faster. Train B is traveled faster compared to train A. Now here we used a concept speed, right? So speed is means this concept speed is used to compare the which train is, or which moving object is faster or slower, right? Now we'll move on to the next question, that is car travels 20 kilometer at a uniform speed of 45 kilometer per hour, and next to 25 kilometer at a uniform speed of 60 kilometer per hour. Find the average speed. So we learned the concept average speed also. So what is the formula for average speed here? Average speed is equal to total distance covered over total time taken. So if you look at here, we know a car travels, let's say here I will just draw the rough path here let's say this 20 kilometer with the speed of 45 kilometer per hour, right? 20 kilometer 45 kilometer per hour, and next to 25 kilometer with 60 kilometer per hour, right? So we don't know the exactly time. We know the S1 is equal to and S2 is equal to, but we don't know the T1 is equal to and T2 is equal to. So for that we have to firstly calculate the T1 and T2, and simply it's a means our formula of speed V is equal to S over T, means T is equal to, rearrange this, T is equal to S over V. So for a T1 take S1 is equal to 20 over V is equal to 45. So you will get the time T, right? Time T 20 over 45 is, so we can do like this, 5 4s are 20 and 5 9s are 45, right? So 4 over 9 is a T1. Now calculate T2. T2 will be, T2 is equal to, let's say here 25 kilometer distance traveled, second case, right? Case 1, let's say here case 1 and case 2 for case 1 case 2, and case 2 is 25 kilometer at a uniform speed of 60 kilometer per hour. So again 5 5s are 25, right? And 5 1s are 5 2s are 12. So it's a 5 over 12. Now it just means put into this formula. So what is a formula? Average speed is equal to S1 plus S2 over T1 plus T2. S1 is, let's say here 20 plus it's a 25 or 4 by 9 plus 5 by 12, and if you calculate this all, you will get average speed is equal to nearly, it's a 52.25 kilometer per hour. 52.25 hour. So this is means you have to just solve this just a part, actually means it's just a rough calculation of factors, and if you want to learn this factor part, just go through the other my videos in the playlist, and you will get the factor, how to solve that factors and all those stuffs. Okay, so here average speed is 52.25 kilometer per hour. So how we calculated it? It's means total distance covered over total time taken, and if you calculate the total, firstly time T1 and T2, right? So you will get the T1 is equal to 4 by 9 hour and T2 is equal to 5 by 12 hour, right? And that is how means you will get the final answer, average speed. Now we'll move ahead with the next concept called velocity. Now velocity is a bit like speed, but here in case of velocity, even distance traveled in a or given direction, or direction we know particularly, and time taken by it. So let's say here particularly a car is moving north. A car is moving, let's say north, and with the speed of, let's say, 30 kilometer per hour north. So we can say that means it's a velocity of car. Velocity of car is nothing but distance traveled distance traveled by it per unit time in a given direction is nothing but velocity. So velocity is equal to distance traveled over time taken. Now distance traveled in given direction. This is very important point, otherwise it will be again speed, right? In case of speed we use just a distance traveled, right? But in case of velocity we know the even particular direction at which it is moving. So v is equal to s over t. Again same, v is velocity, s is distance traveled, and t is time taken. So you can say here that means velocity is equal to displacement over time. That is means v is equal to s over time, and SI unit is again meter per second, centimeter per second, centimeter per minute is also a unit, then kilometer per hour are the SI units particularly. So what is means, we'll discuss what is difference between the speed and velocity, but here one difference is that we know the even direction as well as magnitude. So it's a, of course, what is the quantity? It's a vector quantity, right? So it's a vector quantity. So distance traveled in a given direction over the time taken is velocity. Now look at here. Firstly we will discuss the speed and velocity differences. So as we know, the speed is the distance traveled over time taken is equal to here speed, but in case of velocity it's a displacement over time taken. So velocity means speed, SI units of speed and velocity are same, that is meter per second, centimeter per second, then kilometer per hour. Both case units are same, right? So speed, distance traveled, we don't know the direction, right? So we know that just a magnitude, that's why it's a scalar quantity, and this one is vector quantity. Now there is one more difference, major difference, is that means speed particularly is a distance traveled. Let's say it's a A to B is distance traveled, speed is, let's say, 20 kilometer per hour, right? And coming back, let's say it's again 25 kilometer per hour. So here means speed is speed is distance, means in a first case he traveled at 20 kilometer per hour and come back to the 25 kilometer per hour, right? So we calculate the total distance in this case. So speed can't be zero, right? Speed can't be zero, but displacement can be zero in the same example, right? So here velocity can be zero, but speed can't be, right? Speed can't be zero. This is major and significant difference between the speed and velocity. So these are the major differences. First point is distance traveled over distance time. Then second is unit, right? Units of speed and velocity are same. Then here 1, 2, 3 and 4. Fourth one is significant one. It can be asked in your MCQ questions as well. Now uniform velocity. Uniform velocity means again same. If a body travels the equal distance or specific direction, right? If write down here, if body travels a specific direction, a specific direction in a straight line, and moves equal distance in equal interval of time is a uniform velocity. Means here two things are important. One is speed of a body and direction means it's a specific direction, okay, or a straight line direction, right? But by changing the direction the velocity might change, right? So uniform velocity might be look like this one. The change here means it's a time over distance. No, it's a distance in distance on a y-axis and x-axis. It's a uniform velocity. Now nextly very significant concept as we discussed it, particularly let's say here speed and velocity. We discussed earlier speed and velocity are not always equal in a magnitude, right? So here we'll take two trees, okay. Here one tree is there and another tree is far away from the, let's say, first tree, let's say A and B, and distance between A and B is let's say let's say 2 kilometer, and one person travels tree A to B, right? And he again come back to the A. Now what is speed? Here speed is equal to total distance traveled over time, and he took a particularly for a one way, it's a let's say 10 minute, and another way it's again 10 minute. So speed is equal to 2 plus 2, it's a 4, right? Or 2 plus 2 or 10 plus 10, right? Time taken. And in case of means velocity, velocity is displacement over time, right? So displacement means it's a shortest distance between the initial point and final point. Here the person moved A to B tree and again come back from the B tree to A tree. So here means his initial point and final points are same, right? So here displacement is 0 over the 10 plus 10 means it's a velocity, means his velocity is 0, right? And speed is something else, right? Here 4 over 20, 4 over 20, right? So 1 by 5, 1 by 5 means it's a 0.2 kilometer per minute is a speed of that person, right? But velocity is 0. So speed and velocity here means concluding point is that speed and velocity are not always equal in magnitude, are not always in the equal in magnitude. So that's a means difference between the speed and velocity. We'll deal with the 1 or 2 question even. Now here the car travels a distance of 20 kilometer from Delhi to Ambala towards the north in 5 hours. Calculate the speed and velocity of a car for this journey, Now firstly, first part here, speed is equal to distance traveled over time. So distance traveled is equal to 200 kilometer, right? Or how many hours he took, or car took? Here 5 hours, right? So it's a 40 kilometer per hour is speed. Now second part is that means velocity is equal to again displacement over the time taken. Displacement, how much displacement took place for the car? Displacement is displacement over time is equal to 200 over the 5 hours. So it is 40 kilometer per hour north. 40 kilometer per hour north is the velocity of that car. Now that's it. And आपको if you like this video then just share, subscribe, like करना. Okay, that's it. Bye bye, take care.